Welcome back, everyone. Sarah and Gabby here. So, this is day 4 out of our 5-day challenge. And just another reminder, if you're experiencing an emergency or experience severe trauma, please consult a qualified healthcare professional and mental health professional, just because that's not what we are replacing here. We are here to combine our care with mental health professional care or to assist with minimal trauma situations. Okay. All right. So, have you all started to notice how unresolved trauma can actually impact your daily life and relationships in truly just unexpected ways? What if there was a simple techniques or a couple of simple techniques to help you manage and heal from those hidden wounds? What would that mean for you? What if you could actually break free from the shadows of your past and step into a life full of, more peace and more joy? And, freeing yourselves from the trauma is not only possible, but it's also within your reach. And we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But let's just start with a brief review of the last 3 masterclasses. And we started with understanding trauma. We've all experienced trauma in some form. Trauma, as defined by Merriam-Webster, includes a disordered psychic or behavioral state from severe mental or emotional stress or physical injury. And that's only scratching the surface. Trauma is really just any event or emotion in your life that comes as an unpleasant surprise and affects you on a physical, a mental, emotional, and even a spiritual level. And these invisible scars, they impact how we live our lives daily. And trauma can result from overwhelming events, and it can lead to changes in our body, our mind, our behavior. It can affect our mental and physical health and cause symptoms, the typical flashbacks, anxiety, disturbed sleep, just to name a few. And something important to keep in mind is that everyone's experience is going to be very unique, and that everybody experiences trauma in a different way, and that trauma can also lead to repeated patterns in our lives unless we do address them. And then of course we all know that major events like natural disasters, violence, or accidents cause trauma, or persistent issues like emotional abuse or childhood neglect. But don't forget about the daily minor traumas that also affect us, that occur almost on a daily basis, from, just small injuries to conflicts, for example, or just, negative experience of some sort. And all of these can manifest as adverse reactions to different situations, and that's usually an indication of an underlying trauma. And if you haven't, please go and listen to the first 3 workshop classes so that you get the information in more detail.
Yeah, and then we also talked about the common trauma responses, our nervous system's fight, flight, freeze, and fawn responses are ways we cope with stress. And trauma can keep our nervous system really on high alert, shaping our lives without conscious awareness. And trauma responses include intrusive thoughts, anxiety in advance, impacting relationships, careers, and overall well-being. And then also the unresolved traumas. You already should know in the meantime, if you have watched day 1 to 3, acts as a silent saboteur in our lives, affecting physical health and relationships. And it can lead to long-term stress, recurring flashbacks, avoidance behaviors, and increased jitteriness. And the limbic system, responsible for emotions, remains constantly active, affecting our thoughts, actions, and relationships. And we covered also several ways to manage trauma. Some of the techniques were the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique, where you find 5 things you can see, 4 you can touch, 3 you can hear, 2 you can smell, and 1 you can taste. And this technique you find in day 3 of our 5-day challenge. And we also mentioned physical activity, meditation, safe place visualization, a balanced diet and sleep, as well as self-compassion. Also, professional therapy, such EMDR or trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy, can be very, very effective. And sometimes medication might be also necessary for some for a certain time.
So we did want to cover two more ways to manage trauma. So first, let's actually talk about the vagus nerve. So the vagus nerve is a key component of our parasympathetic, so the chill out part, nervous system. It sends information between your brain and your heart, your digestive system, and it runs from your brain all the way down to your large intestine. You have one on your left and your right, and it goes on your neck down as well. And this nerve is actually responsible for rest, for relaxation, for recovery. And when we are in a state of high stress from trauma, for example, activating that vagus nerve can actually help us to return to a state of calm, which is also known as the ventral vagal state.
Yeah, and talking about that, before we go in an exercise, what you also can use is your vocal cords uh, to sing, hum, chant this Om, what many people use for meditation, is really helpful for it, or even gargling with water can stimulate the vagus nerve through the vibrations created in our vocal cords. And we also can utilize yoga or Tai Chi if you know about it. And certain poses from yoga, such as child pose or cat cow, can be particularly beneficial. And then another one is a diaphragmatic breathing. And we won't go into details here, but go check out our guides or search for our video on diaphragmatic breathing that will explain it further in the group. And also working on gut health can help, since probiotics and healthy diet can really improve gut health, which the vagus nerve is closely linked to.
Yeah. And then last but not least, we wanted to share the prana mudra with you, which energizes, the body and activates your parasympathetic nervous system. And the way that you go about it is just you sit comfortably with your spine straight, and then you touch the tips of your ring finger and your little finger to the tip of your thumb. And it's gonna look like this. And keep the other two fingers straight and relaxed. Okay, so you don't go just throwing the peace sign, just relax them and have them out. And then you can rest your hands on your knees, for example, with the palms facing upwards. And then you just close your eyes and you breathe deeply and slowly. And you can hold this mudra for 10 to 15 minutes. And it's actually a great hand position that you can also hold if you're doing some kind of other meditation. It's something that you can do if you're just riding the bus or are sitting in a meeting. It's just something where you can take deep breaths and bring your nervous system back down. And for me, just now doing it for as long as I've been explaining it, I already, feel more calm doing it then. So it starts having an effect pretty soon.
Yeah, and imagine if you do it for 10, 15 minutes, how your nervous system will shift.
Mm-hmm.
Just really try it out. And so what else can you do to help yourself heal from trauma and even assist others with it? Just imagine if you had some tools at your disposal to easily help your mom, for example, release some of the trauma she experienced from falling and breaking her hip, or your friend who lost her dog, or yourself for all the experience you have gone through, from nasty comments from coworkers to arguments with your spouse to that car accident 5 years ago. Just how free and empowered would you feel if you were able to release the impact the trauma still has on your life to this day? How strong would you feel freeing yourself from the grip of trauma? Just imagine it for a minute.
And, this is the point where we have an absolutely wonderful opportunity for you. The doors are open for the registration for our UnTrauma, the Heal, Empower, Love Way workshop. And that's starting April 2nd again. And this workshop allows you to unlock the path to reclaim your, control over your health by releasing all these stored up traumas in your energy system. And this is an 8-week live workshop where we meet once a week for about 2 to 2.5 hours. And it's actually designed to help you release traumas and trapped emotions. And if you think about it on an energetic level, trauma experiences, and it doesn't matter if they're conscious, if they're subconscious, if they're generational, they all end up disrupting, our energy system and have an impact. And if you're ready to release that and achieve healing, this workshop is tailor-made for you. And this workshop actually really came together as Gabby and I both struggled with our own respective traumas. I struggled with a difficult birth, and then Gabby was having a hard time with placing her mom into a nursing home and dissolving the apartment that she grew up in, which is hard. And if you're just, so tired of feeling overwhelmed, disempowered, if you're feeling hopeless, you're searching for answers or relief, this workshop is for you. Okay. And we will be addressing trauma on a conscious, on a subconscious, on a generational, and a collective level in our energy field, and how we can clear them on an energetic level.
Yeah, and you also will walk away having learned at least one new technique per week that you can use in your daily life. They are simple but really powerful, along with tailored empowerment journeys and so much more. And how cool that you can create your own healing. It's so empowering. And we went through it too. So we will also guide you through practice runs and will partner you up with other participants in breakout rooms if time permits. And doesn't that sound great? There is more. We also have our own private group where you will have a supportive community to ask all your questions, share experiences, and so much more. And you will get to closely interact with us, creating your own support system. And each week will also include a Q&A, allowing you to really hone in on all your questions. Besides trauma techniques, we will cover other topics as techniques or meditation practice that resolve around other vital aspects of trauma on an energetical level.
And guys, this stuff really works, okay? I'm not just speaking from personal experience. Let's actually look at a few testimonials from previous course participants. So Angelica from Canada says, I did the conscious trauma clearing with 2 of my clients yesterday with incredible results. One in person who reports back today that it was so helpful as she's going, through a divorce. And each time she has to deal with her ex, she was triggered into feeling unworthy. And since experiencing this technique, she feels she's standing in her power, feeling worthy of all goodness in life and ready to move forward in confidence. And the other client was online and she's on disability, and we tuned into her subconscious fears about returning back to work, which seemed to be holding her back from getting well. After the technique, she said, I'm feeling fine. I hadn't felt like this in years. I'm feeling fine. Wow. I find this technique is so easy and quick. I'm so grateful to use this for myself and others. Thank you, Gabby and Sarah. Amazing. So, guys, this is magic, okay? The gold of just one of the techniques we will teach you in the workshop, and that's just one of them. So, you can't make this up.
Yeah, and here is one more. Pull it up here. So LW from Ohio says, the day we received the conscious trauma clearing technique, a client unexpectedly had to choose euthanization her beloved dog, and she was grieving deeply. And I offered to do the clearing, knowing one step specifics the recipient should cross their eyes, and she has one eye. Would it still work? I proceeded with intention for her highest good and belief that energy goes where it is needed. After 3 rounds, she went from a scale of 8 to 0 on the gauge of severity of feeling. What a blessing. As Sarah said, energy is incredible. And our workshops are chock full of so much incredible information, and you don't want to miss this. And you can go to our website really for more information.
Yeah, and we'll post the website as well as a discount code that we have for you guys. So for all of you that have participated here, we have a discount code for the workshop. It's 10% for the first 20 people that sign up. And you can see it up on the screen. It's virtual chapter 10. And this is not a discount that's available anywhere else. So don't sleep on it. And just, I was able to overcome my birth trauma with my son through these techniques. And if I can heal my traumas, you can too. Okay. And then we hope to see you guys in our workshop. We hope to see you all tomorrow. We have another special day planned for you guys where we'll be doing an integration session. And if you want to find out more about what that is and experience it, then join us tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Okay. Thank you for joining us.